Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to try to solve one of an interview practice problem. It's a Leetcode problem and it's asked many times in programming interviews. It was asked to me as well in one of my software developer interview. So let's get started. So the problem we are going to solve today is length of the last word problem. It's pretty simple. Basically, what you have to do is you have a string, and then you have to figure out the length of the last word in that string. And there could be empty spaces in the beginning and the end of the string, and you have to ignore that. So let's see a quick example. So in this example, the word world is the last word, and you have to figure out the length of it. So in this case, the length is 5. So I'm going to try to solve this problem, and I'll explain what my approach is and whenever I try to solve a problem like this. So basically the first thing I try to do is think of an example and try to connect with the interviewer and explain my example and see if I got the question correctly. It happens many times that people don't get the question correctly and then they try to solve it, and at the end the interviewer is like, no, that's not the solution and you got the question wrong. So it's always good to write an example and try to understand exactly what the question asks for. What I would do is I would try to write a simple solution or think of it and then start actually coding it. And once I'm done implementing my first very basic solution, then I will try to think about edge cases. So I'm going to try to solve the problem here on Leetcode. I have the link in the description for the problem if you want to try it first, but I'm going to solve it real quick. So basically one approach I can think of is, first thing I would figure out is how can I access the last word, or how can I get the last word in the string. So what if I convert this string into an array of string? The benefit of doing that is I can easily access the last word in the string. I know this is not the best solution, but this is definitely the simplest solution I can think of. So what if I do string array and then I split it using the empty space. So what this would do is, if you have the string hello world, then this would split it in a way that hello is the first index here of your array, and then if I can write world is the last index of your array, and that's how you can access to the last index. Now I have the access to the last word. All I need to do is figure out how can I write the code for it, and then finally figure out the length of it. And I can do this simply by accessing the last element. So if I use the length property and do a -1, so what this would do is this would return the last element in my array, since the array has a 0 based indexing, and then I simply just figure out the length of it. So this should simply figure out the length of the last word here, and that's what we are trying to solve. So if I run it real quick, it works perfectly fine. And this is the time I would start thinking about edge cases, if there is any I can think of. And one edge case I can think of is, what if the string is empty? If the string is empty, then this split would fail. So I need to fix that. So what if I check the length of the string first and then see if it's 0, then that means it's an empty string, and I simply return 0 and don't even run any code after that. I can definitely do that and it should work perfectly fine. But there is another edge case here. That edge case is if the string just has an empty character. So if the string is just an empty space, the problem what it does is it doesn't know if it's the last word is empty string, and I need to ignore that. So basically I can do is, and then call the trim function. So basically this would eliminate any empty spaces before and after the string. And if I go ahead and try to submit this, this should perfectly work. Thanks for watching this video. That's all for today. Make sure you like and subscribe.